So I own a whole lot of silver. What you see in front of me and a whole lot more. You definitely don't need as much silver as I have, but I want to talk about the minimum amount of silver you should have. And I have a step-by-step action guide to get anyone there, no matter what your personal situation is. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, I will get you there. I used to be really bad at investing, but I've built an 8-figure net worth over the last 10 years by immersing myself fully in it. So I try to share everything that helped me build my wealth at a fairly young age. Remember, if you want to watch more videos about precious metals, markets, and investing in general, make sure you subscribe. So when it comes to options for silver, there's a very wide range of options from weight to price, right? So unlike gold, silver can be extremely affordable. You can get silver pieces for as low as $5 right now for a 1 gram bar. And they go all the way up to 1,000 ounce industrial size bars for around $25,000. Although that's a 60-pound silver bar, so have fun moving that around. You talk about an expensive workout, that would be for sure. I recently moved 60 pounds of silver in a duffel bag, and that sucked. So moving a 60-pound bar by itself would be way worse. I can just imagine trying to get your fingers under that thing is a complete nightmare. It's a lot different than picking up a 60-pound dumbbell or duffel bag, which I did, which are way easier to grip. So personally, I have everything from 1-ounce coins, as you can see right here. So I have a 1-ounce Buffalo here. I have a 1-ounce Canadian Maple Leaf, and I have a 1-ounce American Eagle. I also have a 10-ounce round here. Then I have a 10-pound bar as well. And this 10-pound bar is by far what I have the most of in my silver collection. I have about 100 boxes that have 10 of these 10-ounce bars in each of them, so I have a ton of them. Next here, I have a 1 kilo bar. And then finally, I have a 100-ounce bar of silver. Now, this 100-ounce bar of silver is hard enough to get my fingers under, so I can only imagine if this was a 60-pound bar of silver. Now, my recommendation for a minimum amount of silver as a starting goal is 40 ounces. And you may be doing your calculations and say, well, that's about $1,000 worth, and I don't have $1,000. Well, that's okay, because you don't need to get all 50 ounces all at one time. A lot of people have to hustle to get the extra funds for their silver stacking. And there's a lot of different options for this depending on your financial status and your personal situation. For some people, it's just going to be as easy as taking $25 to $30 out of each paycheck, and this will do the trick. Get an ounce coin each paycheck, and if you're paid weekly, you have your 40 ounces in less than 1 year. Another idea is just give up ordering out, right? Or just going out to dinner one time a week. That is going to save you at least $50 a week, which means you'll get that 40-ounce goal within less than 6 months. Not to mention, you'll be healthier. A little bonus plus there. Ordering out is not just a money suck, it is a total health suck. Now for other people, you may need a side hustle. I'm actually an internet entrepreneur. That's how I kind of built my wealth. So I could give you many different side hustles to quickly get that 40 ounces, but I don't want this video to be too much about how to make the money. If there's enough interest in that, let me know, and I can do a video specifically on how to make the money. And I have absolutely no problem with that. I enjoy doing videos like that, and I have hundreds of successful internet entrepreneur students, so I would definitely do it. One simple idea I can give you, though, is just signing up for a site like care.com. I got friends that pet sit or babysit for like $20 to $30 an hour. That's about an ounce of silver for every hour you babysit. You could literally hit that goal within a month if you wanted to. I know people making thousands of dollars extra on the side from jobs from places like care.com. But again, I won't cover making money too much. I just wanted to throw that quick one out there for all you people who kind of need a side hustle. So the reason I picked 40 ounces is because, number one, it's not too daunting, right? It's achievable for anyone. even for the people who are low kind of on the motivation spectrum, you can hit that in a year without any doubt. Number two, it's about $1,000 worth, so it'll make you feel really good once you hit that goal. And that, especially with the undervaluement of silver, it could be worth a whole lot more a few years from now. So if you're someone who is really on a budget, I think that is a fantastic minimum amount of silver to start reaching for. And I personally would likely just buy a 1 ounce silver round or coin every time you have the spare money. I wouldn't recommend just keeping the money aside and accumulating the money, because likely what's going to happen is that you're going to end up spending that money on something else, or your significant other is going to spend that money on something else. Ladies, behave. Stop spending money on hubby's silver stacking funds. Kidding, kind of. So every time you have enough money from whatever game plan you're implementing, buy a 1 ounce round or coin. Or if you babysit for a 6-hour span and make $150, go grab a 5 ounce bar, right? Do that just 8 times and we hit our minimum goal. And don't underestimate the power of buying a little bit of silver every week or two. If you weren't doing this and we're setting $25 to $50 a week aside in cash, what do you think is going to end up happening? The most likely situation is you're just going to end up spending that cash, or your lady is going to get her hands on it. And then even if you do end up saving it and somehow hiding it from your absolutely awesome, fantastic, beautiful wife, it's going to lose its value over time. If you put that money in silver, you're a whole lot more likely to hold on to the silver than you would cash. And silver is a fantastic inflationary hedge. Now, obviously, you can still easily sell your silver for cash if you ever desperately need it, but generally people are much less likely to dip into their silver stacks rather than cash. So it gives you a better chance at building your wealth. If you want that new video game, or you want to try to, that new burger at Buffalo Wild Wings, or your spectacular wife wants her nails done, if you have cash, you're likely going to fold under the pressure, especially on the nail one, you know what I mean? It is a sin how persuasive women can be. Or am I just a sucker? If you have silver, you are much less likely to take your silver to the shop and sell it for those things you don't really need. So the silver, in a way, puts a barrier in place for purchases that you don't really need, but always end up getting because of the accessibility of the cash. And this is why I do love stacking as an awesome way for people to start building wealth. It helps get them out of the habit of spending money on things that they don't really need. But in order for it to work, you have to get your plan in place of setting aside money each week, or getting side hustles and following through with your silver purchases. And don't underestimate the power of this. That initial minimum of 40 ounces will get you in a habit. And many of you can do that within a couple months. I have faith in you. If you keep that habit going and get 40 ounces of silver every couple months, that's 240 ounces a year, or it's about $6,000 worth of silver at the time I'm shooting this. Remember, the difference is silver is, number one, it's a barrier, right? It helps you not spend on things you don't need. And number two, it's an inflationary hedge. It's going to hold its value a lot better than cash, and silver is extremely undervalued right now. So your wealth will shoot up over time. And really, a lot of you can stack silver a lot quicker than that if you're really motivated. The big thing here is stop putting money into a savings account. The savings account is way too easy to dip into. And if wifey has access to it, you're f***ed. In all seriousness though, savings accounts should be called drainings accounts, because that's really what happens with savings accounts. You drain them. And remember, you can do all the same thing that I just listed for gold as well. I think silver is the better place to start with the current gold to silver ratio for prices, but you can do the same thing for gold. So look, I need some commitments. Comment below and tell me what your goal is. How quickly are you going to get to the 40 ounce silver mark? And tell me, how are you going to get there? Then stick to your plan. And I want you to come back and comment on this video when you reached your minimum goal. We are going to start building that wealth together. Subscribe. We'll do it together. Talk to you soon.